Yeah. So last Sunday we looked into the book of Daniel, and it was Daniel and his destiny. And as we move into chapter 2, we're going to look at chapter 2 this Sunday, the God of dreams and destinies. You may have been given dreams in your life that God has given you. And there's many dreams, notes. Did anybody miss notes? We have notes for everybody? We've got right up here. Anybody else missing notes? Raise your hand, and also be in the back for those that may need. If you want to take some with you, take them with you. Last week we looked at Daniel and his destiny, and we talked about Daniel, a young man, probably a young teenager, growing up in Jerusalem, had a family, had probably some plans and some destiny for his life. What life was going to look like. He probably had, getting married and what he was going to do and stuff like that. And his whole, what he was dreaming and stuff like that, and what things were going to happen, changed in a moment when Nebuchadnezzar came against Jerusalem and took him and some others back to Babylon as captives. And we looked at his life of what it changed, because all of a sudden now it's a different destiny God had for him. But God has a destiny, He has a plan for each and every one of us. When you were still in your mother's womb, God saw you for when you would be born for such a time as this, and He had a plan and a destiny for your life. So as we move from chapter 1 into chapter 2, the atmosphere in the king's palace all of a sudden changes radically. In chapter 1 it closed with, remember Daniel, he wouldn't partake of the king's food. He wouldn't defile himself because it was offered to idols. He wouldn't drink his wine, and they went through a testing time, and he asked that he not defile himself, and they let him go ahead and eat the vegetables, and they were, after the days of the trial days, they were fatter than all the rest of the guys that were eating all the king's delicacies. Only God could do that. And God blessed him with wisdom and knowledge, in skill in all literature and wisdom, and for Daniel, he was blessed with understanding in all visions and dreams. I mean, almost like you could take a breath. Everything's good. We've been good. God has given us wisdom. We're 10 times smarter than any other wise men in Babylon. That's what God blessed them with. And you think, wow, everything is good. We can take a deep breath. We have some peace. We have some security. We're not going to be living in a dungeon and being tortured. It's all good. God has got it. It's good. But then that didn't last long. Soon their peace and their security was replaced with rejection and danger. And those kings back then, they possessed almost ultimate authority, power, and unlimited power and authority. And they were very temperamental and unpredictable. And we can start to discover that it's true in Nebuchadnezzar's character. But we also understand that even though in men's character and how evil men could be, God still has a plan. He still has a purpose. He has a destiny in every situation. And God still does. He does back then. He still does. He speaks in dreams and He speaks in visions. Expect God to speak to you in a dream. Because God spoke to Daniel in dreams and spoke to other people in dreams. And He even spoke to unbelievers in dreams. So the first thing that we discover from the God of dreams and destinies, the first thing is the king had a dilemma. The king's dilemma. All of a sudden, the king has a dilemma. It says in Daniel 2:1, it says, now in the second year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign, Nebuchadnezzar had dreams, and his spirit was so troubled that his sleep left him. Have you ever had a dream that you dream and you couldn't go back to sleep? It was like, the dream is so vivid. If it's of God, you'll wake up right after you had the dream. That's usually when you know God is speaking to you in a dream. As soon as you have a dream, you don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, I had a dream. As soon as that dream, you've had that dream, you'll wake up because it is so vivid. It's so real. It's like you were there in the midst of that dream. Mm-hmm. And it's God speaking to you. And you may not understand what He's saying. I've had dreams that I still have not seen fulfilled in my life that God has shown me. I've shared some of those dreams with his church. But God, he's not just, he has dreams for you too. And when you get those dreams from God and they're vivid and they're descriptive, hang on to those dreams. You may not understand, more likely you may not understand what they mean. But here Nebuchadnezzar, he's got a dilemma. The first dilemma, there was this dream. This dream that it came from God. It didn't came because he had too much of the king's delicacies the night before. It doesn't come because he ate pizza and now he's dreaming. It was a bad night for him. He couldn't go back to sleep. Matter of fact, it was a bad number of nights for him because it said these dreams kept reoccurring and reoccurring. And he's like, what's going on? I'm troubled. I can't get back to sleep because these dreams are so vivid and I don't understand what's going on. And perhaps these number of nights the king was just so troubled he couldn't go back to sleep. So he's troubled because he can't get sleep. He didn't understand them, but they troubled his heart deeply. And God communicates to us as his saints in dreams. But you know what? He also communicates to the world in dreams. I've dealt with a number of people that are not Christians. And they come in and share dreams with me. They said, hey, I had this dream last night. And they share with you the dream, and you're like, wow, that's God speaking to you. And you know, so be prepared when someone comes to you and says, man, I had a dream. And you may have been in that dream. And you need God to interpret what that dream means to them. And God will give you the interpretation, because I've had people come to me and say, I had a dream last night. You were in that dream. Or I wasn't in that dream. And God all of a sudden gave you the interpretation of what that dream meant. And it was for them. But the king had a dream. And God had blessed Daniel with his ability to understand visions and dreams. And so God gives the king, who's not a believer, this dream. So Daniel's destiny to interpret this dream. Only Daniel was in a position to interpret the dream that the king had. So in Daniel 2:2 it says, and the king gave a command to call all the magicians, all the astrologers, all the sorcerers, and all the Chaldeans to tell the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. Do you notice that verse? There's somebody missing in those who he summons.
Yep.
There's somebody missing that they need to. He called the wrong people to interpret his dream. He's got the magicians, he's got the astrologers, he's got the sorcerers, the devil worshippers, and he's got the Chaldeans, and they're going to tell the king this dream. The second dilemma there was this decision that the king had to make. It's interesting that when you get a dream from God, make sure you go to the right person to interpret that dream. Just don't go to anybody. Hey, I had a dream. Because these guys, they were good at what they did in trying to interpret dreams. So, perhaps in the middle of the night, the king can't get no sleep. He's troubled by these dreams. So he summons all these guys, maybe in the middle of the night. I'm just speculating here, okay? I'm just ad-libbing here when I go on. If I can't sleep, boys, you're not sleeping either. Get them up. Get them in my chambers right now.
Mm-hmm.
You ever did that? Had a dream? You can't wait to tell nobody, so, hey, wake up, honey. I got a dream. I want to tell somebody about it. Right now. Well, I want to sleep. No, wake up. Perhaps that's what the king was doing. Get them up. I want to know what's going on. So they get up. It's time for them to earn their pay. Paying these guys good money and everything else. It's time for them to earn their pay. So they're all present, standing before the king, wonder what was so important that he had to summon them so hastily. So here it is, the king in Daniel 2:3 says, and the king said to them, I had a dream. My spirit is anxious to know the dream. Oh, is that it, king? That's all you got us in the middle of the night for, to come and tell you about your dream? It's no problem. You want to know your dream is? No problem, king. We're skilled in black magic. We're skilled in skill and spells, incantation, star reading, whatever else we can concoct to tell the king who's anxious to know his dream, it's no problem. King, we've done this many times. Today, leaders would summon people that they call psychics to tell them what their dream meant. I got news for you. There should be no Christian ever going to a palm reader, a psychic, anybody that deals in sorcery. You know what? I don't even read my horoscope in the morning. Yeah, I hope not, right? I don't, never have. Oh, I've read them before, but they don't mean nothing. They're ridiculous. People don't get up in their day until they read their horoscope. What's going to happen to me today? Really? But they do that. The king, I want to know my dream, and so there's a dilemma. And you know what? He summons the wrong people. He went to the wrong people to find out what God was saying. If you want to know what God's saying, go to godly people that you can trust, that you know hear from God. If I need to hear from God through somebody, there are people that I go to. I just don't go to anybody. There's certain people I trust that I go to. Second thing the king discovered here was it's a king's demand. So here's his demand. Daniel 2:4. Then the Chaldeans spoke to the king in Aramaic. O king, live forever. They give him respect. Tell your servants a dream and we'll give you the interpretation. Now the first demand was a rational demand. It was rational. You just tell us the dream, king, no problem. We'll give you the interpretation. I mean, you've got to tell us what the dream is. We'll tell you the secret meaning. Between them, they were confident that they could concoct something here. We could come up with something no matter what the dream is. You know, you can make something up. And, you know, the psychics, they're so far off in their predictions that they don't even come close to being, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's very low that they even get any close. You're going to meet a dark, tall, rich stranger. Really? He's rich? Yeah, he's rich. And people believe that. You know, I got news for you. You know why the world is so hungry for the occult and psychics and stuff like that? Because the church has got rid of the supernatural. We don't want the supernatural operating in our church. Why not? If it's God, you want God operating, don't you? God operates in the supernatural. Most of the stuff in the Bible is supernatural. It just didn't happen. It's because God ordained it to happen. And people chase after, they spend thousands of dollars on somebody that's going to tell them something that's going to give them some hope, and it never comes true. Or you think that the guy you bumped into the store, this tall, dark stranger, is the guy for you. And he don't think that at all. Just be real here. They could get some mumbo jumbo together, and they were actually quite good at it. But the king was not budging. In Daniel 2:5, the king answered and said to the Chaldeans, my decision is firm. If you do not make known the dream to me and its interpretation, it's going to get serious now, guys. All right, you make known the dream to me and its interpretation, and if you can't, you'll be cut into pieces, and your houses shall be made a ash heap. However, if you tell the dream and its interpretation, you shall receive from me gifts, rewards, great honor. Therefore, tell me the dream and its... Wow.
A little pressure.
That's a pressure. Yeah. Okay, guys. Enough fooling around, all right? You tell me the dream and its interpretation, or I'll have you cut to pieces. Now the second demand, the king's, was an irrational request. Because in Daniel 2:7 said, they answered again and said, let the king tell his servants a dream, and we'll give its interpretation. The king answered and said, I know for certain that you would gain time because you see that my decision is firm. If you do not make known the dream to me, there is only one decree for you. For you have agreed to speak, lie, and corrupt words before me till the time has changed. Therefore, tell me the dream, and I shall know that you can give me its interpretations. Then the Chaldeans answered the king and said, there is not a man on earth who can tell the king's matter. Therefore no king, Lord, or ruler hath ever asked such a thing of any magician, astrologer, or Chaldean. That's never happened, king. That's an irrational request. Let's get rational, O King Nebuchadnezzar. You're asking us to tell a dream. We can't tell you the dream unless you tell us what the dream is. He refused their decision. Perhaps the king was on to these guys. You know, at some point, these psychics and these people that think they can tell the future, after a while you think, well, you guys have never hit anything right at all in this stuff. What's going on here? You'd think you'd stop listening to them. You know what I'm saying? Why would you listen to people that can't get it right? I wouldn't listen to them. If you can't get it right, I don't want to listen to you. People can be so fooled so easily today by just somebody that comes up and says, I got a word of the Lord for you. Be careful. I'm telling you, be careful. Just because somebody comes up, I've had many people come up, I got a word of the Lord for you. I get very cautious. I just don't say, oh, what is it? And here's how you judge these things that people, because God does speak through people, and God does tell people things that you're delivered to other people, but here's how you judge that. If what they're telling you does not have any confirming effect in your life, meaning God has not speaking to you already or showing you things as confirmation to you that God's going to be speaking about that, don't receive it. Yeah. If all of a sudden they come to you and say, Masako, I got a word from the Lord for you today. You're going to go to Japan next week, and you're going to go there, and a lot of people are going to say, you go, what? I never heard of that at all. Even though she may be from Japan, and she may want to go there, God had not been speaking to her, but God had been speaking to her like for months about going to Japan and missionary work or something like that. And then the confirmation came, Masaka, and I'm not saying that, I'm just giving an example here. I'm not saying, it's using an example, I'm not saying that. Masaka, this still the Lord's telling you that there's an opening door in Japan for you. And it's just like, wow, it's just confirmation in your heart. You go, yeah, that sounds real. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if it doesn't make sense, I mean, you're going to marry this person. Really? Did that person know I'm going to marry them? Okay? Let's be real. Let's not just take everything for granted.
Amen.
Let's just not jump at something because it may sound good. Go pray about it. Ask God about it. But anyway, let me go back to this situation here. Here we have, so in Daniel 2:11 it says, it's a difficult thing the king requests. There is no one other who can tell the king except the gods who dwell. So here these wise men, I guess they call them, Chaldeans, sorcerers, they understand that we can't do it. There's a God that we don't know that can do this, but we don't know that God. He exists, but we don't know him. He's the only one that can tell this dream. See, the only one that can interpret God's dreams is the Holy Spirit speaking through you. If the Holy Spirit's not speaking through you or somebody else interpreting you, I have people come in and say, I had a dream. I'm sorry, I don't have the interpretation. God, give me the interpretation. I'll give it to you. I just don't fake it. Oh, well, your dream means this. You know, you're going to do... No, God has to... Only God can interpret his dreams. Only God. And they can't... They know we can't do this irrational request, King. We can't do that. So, my question to you, this is kind of like a little question. Did King Nebuchadnezzar actually forget the dream? Or did he actually just knew the dream, but he wanted to see if these guys could tell him the dream? Either way, doesn't matter. But the deal is that I think my belief is I think he knew the dream the whole time. He was on to these guys, and he knew they couldn't give him the right interpretation, and he wanted the right interpretation. Just a little pointer. So here we find, and this is where I want to set this up to get into this. So I'm just giving you some background here to to set up where I want to really talk about today. So the king has a dilemma, the king has a demand, and now the king sets a decree. The third thing, the king's decree. In Daniel 2:12 it reads, "For this reason the king was angry, very furious, and gave a command to destroy all the wise men of Babylon." So the decree went out, and they began killing the wise men, and sought Daniel and his companions to kill them. So here's the situation. So it's the king's dilemma. It's his problem and what he wants solved. He caught the wrong people, and he gets angry, and so then he sets out a decree that, you know what, I'm wiping them all out. Taking them all out. Start lopping heads, boys. They're done. And here's, talk about a decree. And he can do this decree. Good, bad, or indifferent, didn't matter as far as he's concerned. Kill them all. No trial, no pursuit himself proven guilty. They're done. Death warrant was issued. Now they obey it. And sent Arok, the captain of the king's guard, perhaps the chief's head lopper, I call him, was summoned to give the decree. Here we go. Go out and start killing. And he went out and started killing them. Here it is. Now, what do you do when the world's dilemma starts to become your dilemma? When a crisis ends up on your doorstep that you didn't even cause. Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah were just getting along with their lives, rejoicing that everything was going good. They didn't follow themselves with God, with the king's meat. Everything's good. They're worshiping God. They're in God's good gracious. They're skilled. And now all of a sudden, the king's dilemma, the king's demand, and now the king's decree has now affected them. And what do? What happens when a dilemma that somebody else has started affects you? And this is what we can learn from Daniel, and how he approached the situation, and how he finds himself. That Daniel deals with the situation, and how we can deal with the situation when we have it. Because first of all, the king's dilemma now becomes Daniel's dilemma. There are dilemmas out there in the world that you didn't even start. You didn't start the coronavirus, did you? But that's a dilemma that we're going to deal with. How do we deal with that? There are other dilemmas that other people are going to start in life that's going to become our dilemma. So all of a sudden we find that Daniel now has a dilemma. His dilemma is, in Daniel 2:14 it says, "Then with the council," because here's what happened. So Arok, the captain, he's the captain of the king's army. When you're given a decree back then, you're a soldier, you follow through to your orders. If you don't, they'll kill you. It was that simple. Here's a decree, the king says, go kill them all. What is he going to do? He's going to go kill them all. Because if he does not kill them all, he's a dead man. So he's going out, and it doesn't say how many people heads that he lopped off. But all of a sudden, he finds himself at Daniel's house, Hananiah, Azra, and Michelle. He finally gets to their house. Head lopper, lopping heads, shows up at Daniel's house. In Daniel 2:14, with the counsel and the wisdom, Daniel answered Arok, the captain of the king's army, who had gone out to kill all the wise men of Babylon. That includes Daniel and his 3 friends. What would you do if all of a sudden someone rides up at your doorstep or shows up at your doorstep with a decree that says you're going? What a shock. Daniel says, why are you here at my doorstep, Arok? Why are you here? He doesn't have to tell him why he's here. But we find the first thing that Daniel does, he asked. He asked. Daniel 2:15 says, he answered and said to Arok, the king's captain, why is the decree from the king so urgent? Then Arok made a decision known to Daniel. Daniel asked, why are you here? Why are you at my doorstep? Why are you here with such urgency of the king's decree? Why is this thing, what's so urgent about this decree has to go out right now? Asking others with God's counsel and wisdom is the best approach. Sometimes you just got to ask, why are you guys here? What's going on? Not just, oh, I guess this is God's will for me to have my head locked off right now. Guess it's good to go, because I'm being realistic here, all right? You know what? I wasn't too happy about all this stuff, all right, church, all right? I wasn't too happy about these masks that we're supposed to be wearing. But you know what? Did we start the dilemma? No, but you know what? We asked and we're doing the best we can to go forward with this dilemma. Not to say that the dilemma is the same thing as Daniel, but it's life, it can affect someone's life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, here he asked, what's going on? Why are you in my house? He asked humbly. Get off my property, Era. How dare you ride up on a horse on my property? That ain't going to work, is it?
Mm-mm.
He doesn't know what the decree is, so he asks, what's going on? And you know what? Eric tells him. I believe that we're going to be faced with many dilemmas. In these last days that we're in, we're going to be faced with many dilemmas like Daniel was faced with. And it doesn't hurt to ask humbly with the counsel and wisdom of God. Ask. James 4:2 says, you do not have because you do not, what?
Ask.
It doesn't hurt to ask questions. Ask what's going on. Be inquisitive. Just don't, oh, I just think this is supposed to happen. Must be God's will because he's on my doorstep. Ask. You have, I have made a determination in my life. I'm not going to get to heaven and find out I could have had all this stuff and I didn't have it because I didn't ask.
Amen.
I didn't ask. Daniel asked. He said, what's going on? Why are you here? Not just, oh, I guess this is just God's will for me to die today. It's a good day to die. He asked. Okay. Then there's Daniel's decision. This is where I really want to get the heart of the matter. So Daniel 2:16. So Daniel went and asked the king to give him time that he might tell the king the interpretation. So Daniel's decision is he's going to go, now he hears what the decree has been put out. He understands the king has made a decree and that his head and his name and the 3 Hebrew children's names are on that list. They're ready to be killed. They're ready to be done. So he does not let that hamper because he hears what the decision is after he asks. He decides by faith, walking by faith, I'm going to go talk to the king. Now that takes faith. That takes courage. I'm going to go face the king who's already issued a decree that he wants my head on a platter. So Daniel walks by faith. And Eric puts his own life on the line for Daniel. He doesn't know how the king is going to respond. The decree's already been made. The king is angry. Kill these guys. I don't care. Wipe them all out. I'll start over again. So, Era allows Daniel to go see the king. He does not say, no, you're not going, Daniel. I'm here to kill you. It's time for you to die. But walking by faith, even in a crisis, even when a situation is so difficult that you don't know what's going to happen, walk by faith. Trust God in the situation. The minute that Daniel set foot in front of the king could have ordered Daniel to kill him. Why is he here? And kill you, Era, for even bringing him here. But Daniel standing before the king in faith, asked the king for time so he might tell the king's interpretation. Here we go again, asking the king the situation. So it doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. He asked for time. Now let me kind of bring this all together here before I look at these last points. You have a dilemma. The dilemma in your life that may have been caused by who knows who, somebody else. But now it affects you. And you may not even understand what the dilemma is, but all of a sudden you ask and say, what's this dilemma about? What's going on? How does it affect my life? Why is this affecting my life? You're asking in wisdom. We're all going to face these dilemmas in life here. Mm-hmm. You're already facing them right now. How does this affect me? Getting wisdom from God. So he asks. And so he goes in front of the king and says, oh, King Nebuchadnezzar, I understand that you want your dream to be told to you and interpreted. So Daniel, Daniel doesn't have the dream and interpretation. He has to walk by faith. There goes. I'm trusting you, God. I don't know what else to do. I'm trusting you, God. Here I go. I'm going before the king. I may lose my life, but at least I'm going to ask, and I'm going to walk by faith. And that's all God asks us to do, is walk by faith. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but God, I'm just not going to take it. I'm going to ask, I'm going to walk by faith. And so he comes before the king and he asks, King, give me time. And when the king says, okay, what does Daniel do? The first thing Daniel does is he goes home. Now watch this, because it's very simple. It's very easy. You think, my life's on the line, I'm going to die. I'm all worried, I'm all fearful. I'm calling the pastor. He better have some answers. You get a phone call from your doctor, and it's a dilemma. And his dilemma now is your dilemma. You've been diagnosed with such and such. Now you've got a dilemma. What are you going to do? Well, doctor, what's this mean? What's this all about? Well, you got, whatever. You got 6 months to live. That's a dilemma. Okay? Thank you, doctor, for your advice. I'm going to go talk to God about it. And what do? You go home. You go home. There's safety in going home. Daniel went home. It says in Daniel 2:17 that Daniel went to his house. He did not go to some lonely place in the wilderness. Oh, God, I got to hear from you. He didn't have a special spiritual place. Oh, if I go to this special spiritual place, God's definitely going to talk to me. He went home. And we can learn something from Daniel. Go home. You get bad news? Go home. Sit down. Relax. Don't let fear take over your heart. You got to drink a cup of coffee? Drink a cup of coffee. Get in a quiet place. Home is a place that your presence of God should be at already. Mm-hmm. Your home should be, all of our homes should be where God's presence already dwells, right? Yes. We make it a sanctuary. We worship God there. It should be a safe place for you to go to. Don't get stressed out. Go work up. Oh, I got to hear from God. I got to hear from God right now. I got to run down to church. I got to call pastor. I got to call the elders. We got to have a prayer meeting. We got to have something happen. Oh my God, everything's going crazy. Relax. Trust God. Have some faith in God. God already knew what's going on before you did. Amen. Daniel went home. Second thing Daniel did, Daniel gathered like-minded friends. Daniel 2:7 said Daniel went to his house. He made the decision known to Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah, his companions. You need to have in your life prayer people that you can trust. If you don't have them in your life, you need to get them in your life. People that you can trust, that have the same kind of faith that you have, that believe God for an answer. Not everybody has that. You need to have close. He had 3 close friends that he called. He didn't call all the astrologers and the wise men and the Chaldeans and said, all right, boys, we got a problem here. No, he trusted these companions and it affected all of them. Like-minded friends, people you can trust when you're seeking God for an answer. Ones that you know will assist you in prayer and seeking God. They were not friends like Job. If you read about Job and his friends, they proceeded to tell Job all his problems and what he had done wrong and why he was under such judgment. I'm not talking about those kind of friends. You need friends to keep you accountable, yes. But, if I call Norma, I need some prayer in this situation. Norma's going to say, well, what did you do wrong, Pastor? Why are you in this situation? You must have done something wrong. And you want me to pray with you because you've done something wrong? No. See, friends, I call Norma. I need your prayer in this situation. This is what I need to pray about, and I'm calling you. Or I call other people too. And it doesn't have to be a whole long list of people you go down through. Some close friends that you can trust, that have your back, that know you can trust and pray. All right? You're going to find them, friends. Hear from God, like-minded, walk in faith, great faith, and you can trust and join you in prayer. The third thing, Daniel seeks God for an answer. You got to seek God for an answer here. Daniel 2:18 says that they might seek mercies from the God of heaven concerning this secret, so that Daniel and his companions might not perish with the rest of the wise men. So they got a certain prayer that they're going to pray a prayer of agreement on of what they need to pray about. It's not a wide prayer that encompasses everything. Okay, I got Norma on the hook right now, so I'm talking me and Norma right now. There's other people, but I'm just talking me and Norma. So I called Norma. Norma, I need you to agree with me a prayer of agreement for this prayer for this certain thing. Not a whole bunch of things. Example, Norma came to me, was it last week, about the guy, your nephew that needed a job at the county. Was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, Norma came to me, the same situation. I'm giving you a real life situation. She came to me and said, Pastor, I need you to agree with me a prayer of agreement for my, what was his friend's name? Zach. Zach has got an interview with Kitsap County for this job, and he needs his job. I need a prayer of agreement with you to pray for his job for him. We prayed. And what happened, Norma?
He went to work last week.
Went to work last week. I don't know how many other people. Yes.
I talked to him this morning to wish him Happy Father's Day, because now he is one.
Yeah.
I asked him out about his job, and he said it's wonderful. Regular hours, good people,
Yeah.
safe environment.
Yes.
Wow.
See how it works, because you go get some. I don't know how many more people Norma may have gotten that, but it was a prayer of agreement. This is what we didn't go, oh, we're going to pray for this, we're going to pray for that, we're going to pray for all. We're going to pray for one specific thing, and that's what Daniel and his friend did. They sought an answer. We need to know the secret, God. We need to hear from you, and we need to know this because this is what's at stake, God. Just in case you didn't know, our lives are at stake, God. Okay? You pray a prayer of agreement. People you trust. And here's the most spiritual, don't bring up yet one. I want everybody to probably get the notes. And this is the most spiritual point I can make this whole service today. Next point. Go ahead. What happened then? Daniel went to bed. That's the most spiritual point I can bring across to you all. He went to bed. It says in Daniel 2:19, then the secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. Well, you don't get a night vision, you don't get a dream unless you went to bed and went to sleep. Daniel said, all right, boys, we're done praying. I'm going to bed. I don't know what you guys are going to do on that, but I'm going to bed. Daniel went to bed. He didn't pace the floor like, oh, God, I got to hear from you. God, if I don't hear from you, my hand's on the table. Oh, God, please, I got to hear. And he didn't fret all night, wander around the living room thinking that, oh, if I don't hear from God. He didn't beg, oh, God, please, you got to respond to me, God. Daniel knew by faith that God heard his prayer. Now, Norman, I got you in the hook today. I'm going to keep you in the hook here. After we prayed that prayer, did you go home and worry and wonder about Zach, is he going to get the job or not? No, you went home and went to bed, right?
Yep.
Well, not right then, but you went to bed later. And you slept just fine, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because it was in God's hands.
Yep.
Amen.
Sometimes the most spiritual things, we think we got to get so spiritual.
Nope.
Oh, I got to get so spiritual. Oh, I got to go pray for hours. I got to get on my knees and just pray and beg God for hours. Go to bed. Please, just go to bed. Just go to bed.
Just chill.
Take it easy. Don't you get all stressed out. We get ourselves, and God ain't stressed out. Do you think God was stressed out of this situation? God wasn't stressed out. Daniel went to bed. Don't worry, I'm going to bed. And in the night, when Daniel was sound asleep, God said, here you go, Daniel. Here's the dream, and here's the interpretation of the dream. See, God answers in the middle of the night when you're asleep. can answer anytime, but God answers. And so you're asleep, you're getting your, and so Daniel wakes up in the morning, whew, man, that was a good night's rest. Thank you, God. And the fifth thing Daniel did, Daniel blessed and thanked God. He said, woke up, hey, here it is, Daniel 2:19. So Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And he changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells within him. With him. I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and might, and now have made known to me what we ask of you, for you have made known to us the king's demand. He just thanks God.
Amen.
Don't forget to thank God when you get the answer, all right?
That's right.
All right? Don't forget to say thank God, and bless God, and thank him for revealing what he asked. And you know what? Here we are again, Norma. As soon as Zach got the job, Norma called me rejoicing, said, guess what happened? What? Zach got the job. What do we do? Thank you, God. We give you praise, God. We bless you, God, because you did it, God. And you put it all together for him, and he's happy in the place that God wanted him to be. Is this making any sense today?
Oh, yeah.
We don't get so spiritual and think that we got to get so spiritual with God or he's not going to hear me. Just be yourself. Just be you. And talk to God like that. And finishing up, and Daniel gave his own decree. King gave a decree, now Daniel gave his own decree. Daniel 2:24 says, therefore Daniel went to Iraq, who the king had appointed to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went to said thus to him, hey, Iraq, don't destroy the wise men of Babylon. Take me before the king. I will tell the king the interpretation. He pronounces his own decree. Hey, you know what? My decree overrides the king's decree because you know what? I have what the king has always wanted. And God gave it to me. And he brings it in because God gave him what he asked. And he goes and declares his own decree. Hey, I'll give the king interpretation. And after all, that's all the king wanted in the first place. And you know, he just asked the wrong people for the answer. And here's what we can learn a few more points here from Daniel. People in the world today are looking for answers to their own dilemmas. And they got many dilemmas. They got many dilemmas right now. The whole world has got dilemmas. The world is nothing but a one big dilemma, it seems like right now. Am I correct? Everywhere you look, you turn the news on, there's nothing but dilemmas. I mean, the world's got so many dilemmas, they don't know what to do with all the dilemmas. They try to go get wise men, and ain't so wise, are they?
No.
They're asking the wrong people. They're asking the wrong people for the answers. And you listen to these guys and like going, man, that guy ain't hit nothing right yet. What is he saying? And then you get doubt in your heart because you're like, man, these guys don't even know what they're talking about. And you listen to them, you think, oh, they're so smart. But they ain't so smart. Because you know what? I got news for you. God has the answers to all the dilemmas of the world. And people's problems. And you know who's going to deliver those answers to all those dilemmas that the world has? The church. That's you guys. That's where you come in. So next time somebody comes to you and has a dilemma, somebody in the world, you say, oh, what's your dilemma? Well, let me go seek God about that, and I'll get back to you with that dilemma that you may have. And then you go home. Where do you go?
To bed.
Go home. Get some like-minded friends, right?
Yep.
Hey, couple friends. Hey, I need you to pray this prayer agreement with me. I have a friend down the street's got a dilemma. Ask God with your friends. Seek God for the answer. And then what do?
Go to bed.
Go to bed. Don't even bother about sitting there and pacing and worrying about it. And then when God gives you the answer, bless and thank God for the answer.
Amen.
And then come back and say, I got a decree for you, brother or sister or whoever. I got a decree for you because God has given me the answer to your dilemma. And it came from God. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That makes sense? And we are the ones that need to bring the answers to the world's dilemmas, to people's dilemmas. We need to ask God for them. And God will use you that. And now you start finding your destiny in life. Why I'm here? Why am I here? Because the world's got a lot of dilemmas. They need a lot of answers. And they've been going to the wrong people. And they haven't been coming to the church, and the church is the ones who's supposed to have the answers. And we've just been like going, well, don't ask those wise guys over there. They know all the answers. They're so smart. And God said, no, you don't know my wisdom. I have all wisdom and all power, all knowledge. I know everything. God knows everything. And we have a direct pipeline right to God to say, God, I need the answers to the one. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But you do, God. I'm coming to you. And that's how we become like Daniels in the world. That's how we find our destiny. And all of a sudden you just live in that trip and go, wow, how'd you know that? I didn't, but God did. Now you start finding your destiny because you're out there. And I'm telling you what, there are so many dilemmas out there, you're not going to run short of work, all right? You're not going to run short of work. And as we get deeper into these crises, there's a lot of work for the church to do. There's a lot of work for you to do. And what is my job? Equip you to do what? The work of the ministry. This is part of the work of the ministry. Not here to sit here and just preach a feel-good message. It's to equip you. And this is equipping. It's just equipping you to go out and do the work. Because that's what your, what? Destiny?
Mm-hmm.
To do the work of the ministry. It's all our destiny to do that. And in that, you know what that person says? When you bring an answer to their problems? You go, wow, man, maybe I need to know this God of yours, man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, can I come to church with you next Sunday? Can you tell me more about your job? And it opens up the doorway, and the next thing you know, they become Christians. Just because you entered the dilemma you were in. Is that good?
Amen.
And I'll read you one more verse and we're going to close here. Luke 12:11. And when they bring you to the synagogues and magistrates and authorities, do not worry about how or what you should answer or what you should say. For what? The Holy Spirit will teach you that very hour what you ought to say. So you don't have to worry about it.
Amen.
Don't go fretting because someone comes to you and says, oh, I got this, and they say that to you. Or what happens if they bring you to somebody that's a magistrate or a king or an authority, and they want something from you? Don't worry about it. Don't fret. Holy Spirit, you got this. You know exactly what to say to that person. I know what you do. And the Holy Spirit gives you the words to say. And you just step out of faith and give them what they say. And if you sit there trying to make sense of it all, don't make sense of it all. Because I've said things to people, I was like, what in the world did I just say? And why did I say that? My mind, but the Spirit speaking through me was saying exactly what they want to hear. And they go, how did you know that? Did that happen? How did you know that? I didn't know. I didn't think, to be honest with you. God knows everything. And he just spoke that to me. And it may just be a few words. It doesn't have to be a whole, thus saith the Lord. Just be who you are, okay? Don't get all super spiritual and stuff, all right? Just talk to them as who you are and say, God's got an answer to your question. And you know what? We're going to pray for your healing. And we're going to believe God's going to answer you. It's going to bring healing. And we've seen many people healed in this church here. So if you need healing, we'll have to pray for you for you. Father, we just thank you for your word. I just pray, Holy Spirit, only you can get this deep down in our hearts, God. Sometimes we make it so hard. You make it so easy, God, but we make it so hard with our own thinkings and our own trying to understand this and trying to be so super spiritual, God. God, just let us learn to be ourselves and in fellowship relationship with you, Holy Spirit. That when we're faced with even simple questions or difficult questions or different dilemmas that we don't even know what to do, God, but maybe affecting our life, God, you have all the answers. We just need to come to you and seek you for those answers, God. And know, God, as we take a step by faith, God, a step in faith, out by faith, I'm asking you, Lord, to deliver just like you delivered to Daniel. You'll deliver to us, God. You're not a respecter of persons. If we would just ask, God, and the problem is, and the Lord says to you today, the reason is because you've not asked. It's a simple thing of just asking me. And if you ask me, I'll give it to you. But you don't ask because you just get all wrapped up in all kinds of things. And God said, just ask. Just ask. You're looking for direction in your life right now. I'm speaking to someone right here today. You're looking for direction in your life. It's all confused right now. You don't even know what to do. Your mind is so scrambled right now. You're such a mess right now. And it's just because you've not asked God for direction. And you asked, but you've not got peace. You haven't gone to bed and went to bed and got peace. You just worry, thinking, I gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta work, I gotta do. Just stop. Ask God. Relax. Drink a cup of coffee. Go to bed. Wait for God to answer. I just spoke to someone today. That's you. You know that's exactly you. You haven't sit back and ask God and relax and wait for God to give the answer. And then wait. Just trust God with the answer. He'll bring you the answer you need. You can just trust God. Father, I thank you for speaking to someone today, maybe a number of people today, Lord. And Lord, help us to get this deep down inside, Holy Spirit, that when we face these dilemmas, that we just come to you, get some like-minded friend, ask a prayer of agreement, and not worry about it no more, God, and just wait for you to give the answer. And when you give the answer, then thank God for the answer He gave you. And we learn that, God, we're going to do so great in walking with you, Lord. We give you praise, we give you glory, in Jesus' mighty name. Simple but powerful with Daniel. Ain't Daniel powerful?